No matter what sport you play, there's one thing that we all know, and it's that you gotta get your coach to like you. Personally, I never had a coach hate or dislike me, so that was never a problem, but I can't say the same for others. The best way to keep a coach from disliking you is to put in effort, respect them, and to allow them to get to know you better. Now, if you're a bummy person, then you might as well kiss that goodbye because you're finna make your life hell. But I'm a cool and funny guy, so I never had a problem with people hating me, disliking me, or anything of that nature, unless it was all completely in the wrong. But in this story, I let my fatness get the best of me and almost got kicked off the track team. To not put anybody on the spotlight, let's just call him Coach Hackett. He's a pretty nice guy, but he doesn't put up with any BS. Me and him never really had any conversations together. We've only seen each other around in the hallway, so I'm sure he thought of me as any other freshman at the time. But unlike him, all the other coaches knew me for who I was, so at the track meet, while other teams would get Subway or Jersey Mike's for dinner, we will make them all jealous by getting Chick-fil-A. The meal we would get would have a basic chicken sandwich, some dry and over salted waffle chips, and a cookie. They never really told us the amount we could get, but I only got one anyways because I wanted to make sure everybody would have something to eat. But after 2 track meets, I started to realize there would be a whole bunch of leftovers in the bus. Just extra boxes, a lot of them at that. And people just wasn't eating them. They would just get left. Even after we get back from the school, they'll just be sitting there. And even some people would get a couple more because, can't waste no food. So I thought to myself, man, maybe I could get me an extra box next time. So I went with it. On our 3rd track meet, I wasn't really hungry at first, so all I ate was a chicken sandwich to have something in my system. But as time went on and the 400 meter was about to begin, I realized how famous I was. I needed to eat. But I can't eat before my race, it'll just slow me down. So the chips and cookies were left in my bag, and I knew that wasn't going to be enough for me. So I thought, dang, why don't I get one of the extra boxes that's always left over and just use that? So I went along with it, which might have been a mistake. I sped walked across the field and grabbed one box and went straight back to my duffel bag. Immediately, I started taking out the contents of the box and putting it into my bag. But because my backpack was so filled and stuffed up, I had to put some of my binders into my duffel bag. So it made everything in there look like more than it was. In other words, that bag was stacked. After putting everything in there, I went to go throw away the box. And on my way back, I realized, dang, it looked like I got at least 10 boxes stuffed up in there. So I decided to rearrange some things so it didn't look as bad. But as that was happening, I heard somebody yell, "Yo, Sneed!" Caden shouted out my name around the whole track team and drew attention towards me. At first, everyone, including me, was laughing at the fact on how the bag looked worse than it really is. But as all the commotion starts to erupt, that's when Coach Hackett wants to come by. He asked us what's so funny, and that's when I knew this situation was finna get way worse. Cause my bag looked like I hit the biggest heist since the 1900s. So I knew I screwed up. Everyone's yelling, "Yo, look at Sneed, look at Sneed." But I'm trying to play it off so it's not as bad as it looks. But then everyone starts saying, "Look at his bag, look at his bag." And luckily it was zipped up. But at the same time, I can't hide it because that's not gonna look good on me. It's gonna really look like I'm stealing. But then the worst thing that could have happened. Jacob said, "Look, I'll show you." Ran up and quickly unzipped my bag just for all of his innards to be exposed. As everyone's falling out of laughter, Coach Hackett's smile slowly faded away. "Need, so what's happening here is you're taking all the food for yourself." "No, it's not like that. So you're doing pranks. Do you think this prank is funny?" At the moment, I was too scared to try and go against him, so I just went along with it. "No, sir." At this point, I didn't want to go against anything he was saying because A, it all looks bad on my part, and B, I didn't want to create a bigger scene than I already had. "No, sir. This is middle school stuff. You're not in middle school no more. This is high school. You need to leave those antics behind and grow up." After a 2-minute lecture from something that sounded along the lines of that, he told me to put the food back into the bag while he thinks of what to do with me. At the time, everybody was shocked. No one knew he was finna take it that seriously. And really, he was kind of pressed about it. But who am I to judge? But the next day, Coach Watts was there. Coach Watts has given varsity runners multiple meal tickets before, so I knew he wouldn't get mad at me for doubling up, or so I thought. When our workout began, he called me over to talk with him. I never got myself into trouble, so I figured what he was thinking of was the situation. When I walked up to him, he asked me, "So what happened?" I explained to him what really happened and how it was a big misunderstanding, and it seems like he understood that. He then asked me, what if someone didn't eat because I took an extra box, But I could tell he didn't really care. He was just saying that because someone had to say something to me. And so I just went along with it, answered truthfully, and went about my day. As days turned into weeks, the incident slowly faded from the mind of my teammates. Coach Hackett never brought it up again, and I was grateful for his discretion. So moral of the story is, if you're gonna do something and it's not gonna look right, just don't do it.
Yeah, big fella.